Hi, everyone. Welcome to Learn, Inspire, Transcend. Today, my guest is an independent artist from Queens, New York, Elliot Bless. Who are you right now? Not the artist version, not the bio, just what season of life are you in right now?
I am a first. I'm a father and a husband,
Yes.
and so that's my season. All of the seasons. I tell people all the time. It's like I don't rap all the time. Like I'm
Mhm.
not somebody who just like sits around and just like raps constantly.
Right.
But I do dad all the time. I am always in dad mode, even if I'm not. Even if I'm working or like anything professional always comes secondary.
I hear
So
that.
if I am recording and my daughter comes and is just like, "Hey, I need you," to do that," then I'm a dad. It's like
Hmm.
that stops and I'm just dad. Same thing with being a husband. My wife is an incredible partner, and she shares me with music and art and all these different things. But when
Props to
all of
her.
those things, super, oh my god, super props. But when all of those, like, the creative things ebb and flow and fade, which they all do, they always will.
Hmm.
Foundation is my wife and my daughter,
Absolutely.
and so first and foremost those things, and I will say this because I like to be fully transparent with
Mhm.
this piece. It's helped a lot of my friends and family. I'm a grieving, creative, and I don't know if those are always running in tandem.
Yes.
I do say that because I feel like grief is one of those things where it moves in waves, and like the way that I think music is unique in this sense, but
Mhm.
like when you're not constantly active in music, then people just assume that like you quit or you did like you fell off or whatever the thing.
Right.
And so I say grieve and creative because I still have to create while still trying to process like emotions that might not necessarily develop the like brightest music. And I'm
Right.
naturally a very bright person. So
Okay.
those are conflicting sometimes.
I hear that. And is that coming through in your music, you would say, right now?
And so like I'll give you an example. Like a song like on my most recent project, I have a song called Jump that
Mhm.
is it's like a fun record.
Yes.
I don't, like I want people to enjoy it, but there's no therapy behind that record. It's just
Mhm.
like, braggadocious rap.
Mhm.
But then the intro song is called Butterfly, and that is a little bit more transparent. And I am talking about, grief there and, other variables. And
Mhm.
that's something that's like, if people don't enjoy that, whatever,
Mhm.
this is, this is as raw as it will get
Right.
in this moment. So that was just like a kind of take it or leave it thing.
How did you start getting into music? Is it I saw that you used to play the trumpet and you
Yeah,
started very young
yeah, I
getting into
did.
music.
So I always loved rap, and I loved like singing. I can't
Mhm.
really sing, but I always loved music. My mom played music, my dad loved music, so I
Mm.
was always around the house. And I have an older brother; he's 2.5 years older, and he was a huge rap fan. So like his favorite rap. If you knew him personally, he's a professional salsa dancer. That's why I laugh because it's like if you met him you'd be like, your favorite rapper was DMX. It's just like, how does this
Oh,
out? But he loved DMX, so I listened to a lot of DMX when I was growing up, a lot of Rough
mhm.
Riders, a lot of Locks, and
Okay.
he also loved Mariah Carey. He loved 112. He loved Drew Hill. So I was listening to like a full melting pot of music between what he was playing and then like the oldies that my parents were playing.
Right.
And so I always enjoyed. My dad always said I was noisy. I was just like a really noisy kid. I like making noise, right?
Okay.
Even now when I'm making stuff, it's like I just make noise until something
Something
sounds
comes out.
good. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I just move with it. But so it started off with just like an appreciation and honestly an infatuation with music and sound.
Mhm.
And when I was in the fifth grade, I tried to start a band. I was like, oh, like because I went to a predominantly white elementary school,
Okay.
very different worlds. So some of my peers, they like played instruments. They played guitar. They had drum sets. Like just I didn't have a drum set. My mom I love you, mom, but my mom was not about to have me playing drums in the.
Right.
Oh, that's too much fucking noise. But yeah, so I wanted to start a band. So I like convinced a couple of my homies, like, yo, like, you play guitar, you play bass, you play drums, and like I'll rap and we'll do whatever. But when you're 10 years old, nobody had access to like recording equipment, so we never recorded anything. Once I realized like I care about this more than y'all care about this,
Hmm.
I was like, I'm just gonna focus on rap and and this was well before Gym Class Heroes and like the like rap band thing was
Right.
this thing.
I
Uh,
remember that.
I
Yeah.
was like, I'm just gonna rap. I'll figure this out later. There were these, tape players that you could record in. You like, put your tape in and record it, and it
Uh-huh.
was almost like the Talk Boy from Home Alone. It was like a handheld tape recorder. It had like an extended microphone, and then my mom had access to um, a larger like recording device where you could like put your tape in and record it. It was like very makeshift. So I would play the beat in the background, like on my like computer speakers, and I leave my closet door cracked so you could hear the beat, and then I would
Mm.
record so you could hear it. No mixing. It was like this is terrible.
Oh my, at 10 years old though, that's impressive. Like,
I did that from years, like just to kind of practice getting used to what my voice sounded like and
right.
how to write raps, and the raps were atrocious, but it was,
You got to release that at some point. We would love to hear that.
yeah, I think my mom actually, I think I should have a tape upstairs. I think my mom, like before they had moved, she showed me a tape, and I remember I brought it. I think I have it home. I haven't listened to it, but that was like the start of everything.
Yes.
Then at my middle school, there was a band, and I really, really wanted to play saxophone because I thought saxophone was like the coolest instrument. I was like, oh,
Mhm.
it's like such a dope instrument. But the woodwind program was very difficult to get into. It was like first come, first serve, so it was packed
Mm.
out. And the brass section was less popular. Not that many people wanted to like, you know, deal with blaring instrumentation. And I found out my dad played trumpet. I didn't know at the time, but he
Oh
played
wow.
trumpet. So when I found that out, I was like, oh yeah, of course, I want to play trumpet too. So
Okay.
I ended up playing trumpet. I enjoyed trumpet. I played for I think like 6 or 7 years, and
Hmm.
it was great. Played at Carnegie Hall. I was in a jazz ensemble. I
That's
was
so why.
yeah, thank you. So it was cool, and I loved it, and I wish that I still played.
Wow. So that's definitely shaped you into the artist that you are today.
Yeah.
Or do you play any other instruments or is it just
No,
that you dabbled with?
I dabble with keys. I don't.
Okay.
I'm a purist in the sense that I don't like to say like because these are like specialty instruments.
Oh, yes.
I can play the keys well enough to like develop songs and like
Okay.
compose like I do scoring for films.
Hmm.
So like
Oh, dope.
I play well enough to convey messages. But as far like for piano, for example, I can't read piano music. I can't.
Okay.
And like for drums, I can play the MPC, but the way that they write like drum notes is like
Hmm.
very different than what a clef note might look like for someone playing the trumpet. So I
Right.
can't read that sheet music either, like at all. Yeah,
So you've been independent for a while now. Since
forever.
you started in 2018.
Yeah,
No, with your
I,
first album.
yeah. I put out like the first thing like officially in 2018,
Yes.
and thank you for
Y-
noticing that and
Yes.
catching it. But yeah, independent the whole time.
Hmm.
One possible situation, geez, this would have been in 2011, so it would have been like before anything was officially released.
Mm.
Um, and it was around the time like regimes had been changing and shifting, and they did not ultimately sign me. They signed another act,
Okay.
and I think they're still around. I don't like putting anybody on blast, but
Right, right.
it was a cool time though. It was entertaining, and I honestly feel like I I'm very spiritual. I believe in God, and
Yeah.
I think that God was like that was not the time for you.
Right.
Yeah, I would have been. Not only was I not fully developed as a creative,
Hmm.
I absolutely was not fully developed as like a man or an adult or a human being.
Right.
I'd have been a horrible. I would have been a good artist, but like
all over the
Everything else
place.
has been
Just
horrible.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. What have you learned about yourself through that? Not just creatively, but
yeah.
personally. Was there a
Oh,
moment that you like questioned your path when that happened?
I question myself every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every day, every day. I think, especially with the way that the music industry is for rappers, not
Mm,
everybody, for rappers in general, there's two things that make, I think, a lot of artists question themselves.
hmm
One is time, right? Because there's this, I don't even know who made this shit up, but there's this preconceived notion that, you know, you have to be a certain age in order to participate in making of the music in like a serious manner. And a lot of what's tied to that is if you didn't hit what somebody else's vision of success is by their designated timeline, then you must not be good enough, which is
hmm
also crazy. It's like crazy
Insane.
because
Insane.
I know I not even talking about me, but I know plenty of artists that are incredible who
hmm
are, known and they're old. like they're old. Like
Yeah.
not old, not I'm not saying like ancient, but they're a lot older than my ass,
Yeah.
and they're still really good. And
hmm
because of that, they don't want to put stuff out. So I think the
Oh.
time is the first one, and I
Mm,
think the other one is I think ego. I think ego really it works well when when it's allowing you to be charismatic on record
hmm
or when
Right.
it allows you to like control a room because you do have to have a certain uh, you have to have a certain balance of like a strong ego and confidence.
Right.
But with that, your ego does play tricks because it will make you think that you deserve something or you you have like you've put in enough time and work but like that's just not how success works, right? For me, what I learned was number one, as a human, I over time have learned how to check my ego creatively, where it's like I know when I do something and it's not that good.
hmm hmm
I know when I do something and it's like, oh, this is really special.
Right.
But I I also understand that once I put it out, I can do certain things that I think will help push something.
Right.
But that's not it. There's uncontrollable factors that also have to like come into play and help.
hmm hmm
So I understand those pieces. And then I think also I just understood that uh, I absolutely can't do it alone.
Right.
You want when you're building a team of people, you want them to want it
As
just like
bad as you do. Yep.
you. So,
Your tribe. It's hard to find your tribe sometimes.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
You live in the life of an artist. That's,
Yeah.
usually it really takes a long time. And that's in many different facets of being a creative, right? You have a new EP out
Yes. Yes.
titled Of My Own Accord. And the cover art, that's you, right? Digital art.
Yeah.
It's so fire.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's so fire. Tell me about that process. What inspired that album for you?
Yeah. So
Well, hold on. Before you even start, I just want to say that I've listened to your music. It's very refreshing to listen to because you have a little bit of something for everyone. You
yes.
have the bop that you could play in the club. You have Free is my jam. I love Free.
Thank you.
It sounds very affirmational to me for some reason.
Yes.
Like there's a lot of affirmations in there. I'm like, yeah, I vibe with that. That's
Yeah.
it's dope.
That's the goal, man. Honestly, like the when I think about the type of music that I want to ultimately always make,
Yes.
is it. I'll be very transparent. It's not always going to sound the same. Like
hmm
sometimes it'll be, you know, boom bap. It'll be soul. It'll be
hmm
uh, like trappy. Like I'll bounce around a lot sonically, but the message it's always intended to be affirmational and aspirational.
Love it.
Thank you. Because and like for me, it's like I've always been an underdog, and
Mm.
I think that I'll probably be an underdog forever. But the thing about that is like the one thing about underdogs that that we have going for us is that people don't expect shit. They don't
Right.
expect anything.
You can
Like,
surprise us every time with something
yeah,
new, and we're like, "Oh shit, that's fire!"
yeah, I love it, and that's why, like, people will be like, "Yo, don't you want to headline bigger shows, or don't you want to do this?" Sure, I love it. I love all those things,
Yeah.
but I also open for almost anybody because I love to perform, and
Hmm.
for me, it's like this is great. It's like I love basketball,
Uh-huh.
and it's like going to the Y and playing. Would I love to be, sitting on the bench for
On
the
the
Knicks?
Knicks, co-
Like,
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
That's not what it is. But when I
right.
when I can get out and perform and like show people what I can do, it doesn't really matter the arena as long as
You're
I'm
doing it
happy with, yeah.
right.
So that's kind of like the goal. I get this all the time when I go to perform, especially like now that I have longer hair. Nobody knows what I'm doing. They don't know if I'm gonna sing. They don't know if I'm gonna rap. They're like, what is he doing?
Play the trumpet. You might.
They have no idea. My homeboy, he
Yeah.
saw me yesterday. He called me Dark Anthony. So and
Oh no.
yeah, so he was like, and I get it, and I play that to my advantage as well
Yeah.
because it's like if you don't really know what to expect, then you
You're
get
gonna be
whatever.
surprised.
Yeah, and you'll be
Yeah.
surprised.
What made you keep going?
Yeah. I think most recently, honestly, there was a time when I met my wife, I'd been doing music for a while,
Hmm.
and I wasn't like, the city is an interesting place because I grew up here,
Hmm.
but then I left. I came back on winter vacation to Yonkers, and it was like my first time spending time in Yonkers, and I was like, I don't know anybody. I don't know
Oh,
anybody here to like network as an artist. And New York, you're a New Yorker, so you get
yes.
we're
Hmm.
friendly, but it's not. You can't once you hit a certain age, you
You
don't
can't
go
just
outside and make friends. It's just not.
right.
You can't be like 17 and just go to a random block like, hey, what's up? I rap. Can you?
Right.
No. So
Right.
it was always weird to figure out, well, what is my place here creatively?
Right.
So when I had met my wife, I wasn't working on music anymore because I had
Mm.
just started tech accessories business. I was like solely focused on entrepreneurship. And she was like, well, this is like a really big part of who you are.
Right.
How can you just like completely throw it to the wayside?
Hmm.
And what really happened that like kind of brought me back to music was uh, I was at the New Eureka Poets Cafe,
Uh,
and my homegirl Roya was hosting an open mic, and I was there, and I was selling product, so I wasn't even there as a performer. I was supporting her, but
wow.
I had a table, and I was like on the side. And my wife came, she was helping me, and because I had like a ton of boxes, and so like she was helping me hustle, right? And who was the DJ that night? Ted Smooth. Ted
Uh,
Smooth was DJing, and there was like a little intermission thing. And Roya knew that I wasn't like doing music, and we had met on the open spoken word circuit, and
nice.
so she was just like, "What are you like? What do you mean you're not writing or rapping or like writing poetry or doing anything anymore?" And so during the intermission, she was like, "Yeah, my homie is in the corner over there, and I want him to come out and freestyle." And I was like, "No," I was like, I'm not." I was like, "I'm not gonna do it," because I hadn't done anything. I hadn't seen a stage in months. I was like out, really
Oh
checked.
wow.
She called me up like 3 or 4 times. My wife was like, "Go, just like you've done this a million times, just like go on stage." And I was like, "No, no, no, no." And she was just my girlfriend at the time. I think we've been together for maybe a couple months, maybe at that time. She might kill me. I think it was a couple months, babe. But uh, she was like, "Are you seriously not gonna go on stage?" And I was like, "No." She started grabbing her shit. She started putting her jacket on. She grabbed her purse. I was like, "What are you doing?" She was like, "If you're not willing to like go after the things that you really love, then I don't think I want to be with somebody like that. Like you're proactively like denying yourself what
Right.
you want. Like, what does that say about you in general?" I was like, fuck it, I'll go rap. And I went
Yeah.
and I performed, and when I did it, it was almost like in Freaky Friday when there's that the earthquake and like everything. It was almost like I was living in a trance,
Right.
and that kind of like snapped me out of it. And I'll never do that again. I'll never like, you know, I might
Throw
take
your
yeah, I might take pauses to like just deal with life shit, but I'll never just be like, I'm never gonna rap again, or like I'll
Mhm.
never, paint again. That's like I can't do it.
Right, it's a part of you, it's who you are. How do you protect your mental space when you're trying to be honest in your work?
I want to I want to be true to like my experience and my perspective. I do distinctly remember I have a record that I did years ago, maybe like 5, 6 years ago. And it was an honest record. It was very therapeutic for me, and I remember playing it for my dad because I was so content with what I had made. I was like, yeah, I
Mm.
finally, unlocked that part of the art.
Mhm.
And I remember the hurt that he had when he listened to the record, and he was just like, yo, you could put this record out, but I'm telling you right now, a lot of the family is going to be upset with the record. And at first I had that reaction. I was like, man, I don't really get it.
Mm.
And, I thought about it a lot when he said it. I was hot. I was like, what, nigga, this is fine. Like, this is a great record. It's like, it's great. And I
Mm.
remember I played it for a couple of friends and they were like, damn, this is really, really good. But I remember I was playing it for my wife and she was like, I think what he meant was, and at the end, it wasn't exactly articulated in this way or framed.
Mhm.
It was a good record, but the question that she asked me was, do you think that it's good enough where like it will be received in such a way where it will propel you like creatively and professionally where it'll be worth it? Is it really, really worth the potential damage that it might
Mm.
cause? And when
Within the
she,
family.
yeah, when
Eh.
she has a great way of like saying things. She just like frames things that in a way that it's very palatable for me.
Mm, okay.
Kind of like that, I was like, damn, you're right. So
Yeah.
I never put that record out. Um,
Okay.
but I did find a way to um, be a little bit more creative in how I would talk about things. I was being raw with like what I was writing. Um, so once I learned how to just like put nuggets in different records, then it was easier for me because it's like I'm
Ah.
getting it out, but I'm not putting 30 years of family trauma in one
In
song.
one song.
Yeah, it'll be like pieced out, spread out a little.
You got people like, "Damn."
But I will say this, like, you know, I think right now I'm for sure creating the best stuff that I've ever made, like musically and visually, and I
Mhm.
finally like got there where I can say that and like confidently believe it and know that like it's not the best that it will ever be. I think there's still like
Oh, grow for sure.
growth, but I can tell when something's like, oh, this is really, really good.
Mhm.
But it's been amidst so much chaos. Like last year, I think for a lot of people was like really, really difficult. So like 2024 was lit.
Oh,
2024, I was like, nigga, I'm good, right?
yeah.
It was like the best year financially. I was so happy. Like everything was just great. January 2025, like it
Mhm.
was like my dad passed away, and then like
Oh.
2 months after that, it was just like I started to really like see all of the impact of what that grief had,
Ah.
compounded by the beginning of like the worst financial year of my entire life.
Oh,
So I was just
no.
like, oh my god, like what is my family gonna do? What am I gonna do? Like,
Hmm.
how are we gonna like ever survive this, right?
Yeah.
And I like, right around the time that my dad had passed, I had just done I had done a fast. I was like, doing Bible study every week, and we had like daily conversations about the Word. And I was
Mm.
just like, man, I feel so like in tune with God. Then he
Yes.
passed away, and I was just like, I didn't open a Bible for like 7 months, like at
Mm.
all. I was just like, my guy, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I was doing great.
I'm devoted.
Yeah,
I'm here. Like,
I was like, yo, I was turned up, and then what are we doing? Like, I
mhm.
did have a very why, like, why me? Like, I didn't. I was like, I didn't never
Yeah.
really got class. I was a great student. I was a great child, husband, partner. I was like, yo, I was a great everything. But
Yeah.
what I did, what I think needed to happen was I needed an ego check, and
Mm.
and I
Oh.
also and I needed to kind of relearn focus and faith, because it's like
Mm.
I think that I was just so used to like fly shit happening for me that
Yeah.
I believe in God, but I was just like, all right, bro, like I know you're here, but I got this. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I
Right.
think
Uh-huh.
he was just like, okay, cool, awesome. You don't need me, buddy. And like
It's the test. We always get tested.
yeah, and
So,
then the snowball of things happened where
yeah.
now it's just like, no, not only do I need you, but I'm also not going to hide the fact that you are a strong consultant for me. That like,
Right.
and maybe that works for some people, and like more power to them.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was able to like figure that out, and I'm very much still in the midst of like figuring out how to like get my life back on track.
Yeah.
I was just like, you know what? This is what it is. This is the situation. I'll put it like this. I don't really believe in quitting. I've only quit a couple of things in the last like 20 years of my life
Mm.
because I really am a firm believer in just thugging it out. And
Yes.
and like a lot of that came from my dad being like, yo, we don't quit. We're not allowed to quit.
Right.
So I try and establish boundaries, and I learned that from my wife. That's not.
Mm.
I don't think that's like a people that don't have strong partners. They never learn how to set boundaries.
Right. Right. I've learned that big time lately. Boundaries.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah.
if you have a child, you have to like. I set a lot of boundaries socially because it's like I would be around people and I'd just be like, I would never want my child to hang out with you.
Right. Why am I here? Right.
Like, what am I doing here with y'all? Like, because there's certain stuff. It's like, when you're younger, you feel like you're bulletproof and all these things, and like you're superhero and you can hang out anywhere and do things, and it's okay, right?
Yeah.
But then when you have a child, you do go into protector mode,
Yes.
but also like developmental mode, and it's just like you see how manipulative people can be and like different things, and it's just like, well, I don't really want my kid to learn that shit, or like,
Right. Right.
if they're gonna learn how to like play the game, I would like to teach them that.
Separately. Yes.
Yeah, so I've only quit a couple of things, and it really those things have stemmed from when I feel like people just aren't like great humans.
Yeah.
I will step away. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And like that doesn't mean that like, you might be a great human to other humans.
Right.
If you're not a great human to me, I am the sole human that I generally like in one-to-one
Care about.
interactions I care about. If you're not a good human to me, then I will step away. And I'll
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what? Live your life. God bless. I,
Right.
and I don't wish anybody any ill will. I
Absolutely.
just don't wish to be with you. I think I grew up playing basketball. I grew up playing sports, and you know, sometimes the way that athletes talk about themselves,
Hmm.
or like if you're training, if you're lifting, it's just like you ain't shit. Da, da, da. Like you motivate yourself.
In a
Like
negative
it's
way.
the reverse. It's just like how bad do you want it? You don't fucking want it bad enough. Da, 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 da. You suck. Like the
Huh.
way that like coaches sometimes talk to players and like it's like oh like you're soft if you can't internalize these things, right?
Mm.
But the way that you talk about yourself or talk to yourself really does matter. You know what I mean? So if
Yes.
you're doubting yourself and like you're going into something like, oh man, I'm not worthy or I'm not good enough, as somebody who has seen like decent success or whatever, I
Mhm.
still have imposter syndrome,
Yes.
still have self doubt. I still go into things like, damn, like am I talented enough for this? Am I smart enough to be in this conversation? Have
Mm.
I done enough work to be here? You'll see people, you'll just be like, how did you get here? Like,
Right.
and this whole time I was really doubting my intelligence level and different, different components.
Yes.
So you're definitely, you need to change how you talk to yourself. That's my wife. I'll say something today. I'll say something, and she'll just be like, "Say that again." Like she'll be like, "No, no, no. You don't talk to yourself like that." And part of it is for me. Part of it is for our daughter, so that she doesn't
Mm.
start to develop that habit of saying things to her. If you really, really, really are working with doubt, write it out first.
Mm-hmm.
Write out, like, don't say it out loud. Write, get a piece of paper, draw a line in the middle, write all of shit that you believe is bad about it, like, oh, I'm not talented enough, I'm not this. On one side, write all that shit down, and then on the other
Mm.
side, write the exact opposite. Like, I am. It sounds silly, but it's like I'm
It's
beautiful
not.
enough, I'm talented enough, I'm intelligent enough. I have worked hard enough. I've networked enough. Whatever enough you need to put there, put it there.
Hmm.
And then on the next page, you flip the shit over. And then on the next page, you write a couple of goals, tangible goals that are based on your resources and what you have in front of you, and not based on anything else anybody else has said. Just
Hmm.
put 5 goals down that are like really tangible, and
Hmm.
then put 5 Hail Marys, right? Right, like 5 joints that are just like, I'm gonna meet Jay-Z in 3 weeks. Just put it out. Stress and trauma and depression and all those things. It was like all of the bad things that I was like so viscerally afraid of for most of my life
Mm.
in one
Right.
year. And nothing really bad happened. I was still
Alive.
alive. Yeah, I was
Right.
still alive. I ran a marathon.
Wow.
I painted. I was like, it's like, damn, like, why was I so scared of all these things? And so
Right.
now I have to remind myself, it's just like, it's a joke because people be like, but did you die? But
Yes.
like, if you are doubting yourself, just be like, yo, if all of this shit collapsed today, what would really happen? What would really change?
Hmm.
Nothing. Like, it's not like if you put yourself out there and nobody likes your shit, nobody even knew you did this shit before, anyways.
Right.
You shouldn't be afraid to put yourself out there,
Hmm.
solely because like anything can happen and everybody's afraid to put themselves out there.
Yeah.
So many
Yeah.
people who are like, oh man, like I wish I could, rap like you, or I wish I could put stuff out like you.
Hmm.
Why can't you? I've done stuff that was like, in my mind, like, man, this is like really high quality shit. Nobody cared. They were just like, what is it? And then I've done stuff that was like, I woke up and I turned my phone on and I recorded it, and people were like, oh my God, this is incredible.
I saw your last post where Fubu was looking at
Yes,
you.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. And that
what?
on a small page, there's a level of self belief that you have to have,
Hmm.
and you have to be delirious. Like you have to be like, you have to have like crazy belief, because
Hmm.
no one else is gonna believe for you.
Right. Right. And at the same time, then that's where it gets tricky, right? So you have to have this delusional belief about it, but you also have to be careful with your ego because
Yeah, 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 yeah.
it
No, no, no.
goes hand in hand, you know?
Dad used to always say, he'd be like, you're never as good as anybody says you are, and you're never as, you're
Right.
always like, you hover somewhere in the middle.
Hmm.
But there is a fine line between like confidence and when your ego is just like
Yeah.
insufferable. It's not.
No.
It's much more fun to just be like, "Whoa, we got like really close today. Tomorrow's gonna be lit." Like, it's
Right.
much more fun to be in attack mode.
It's the mindset.
It's the mindset. So this year is
Yeah.
about the mindset for me, and
Hmm.
like really killing shit, but making sure that I maintain the mindset I had when I was younger, when I was like my daughter, when I was
Yeah.
free and like enjoying shit and just doing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And hopefully, your daughter, well, that's what I see. Your daughter is bringing that out in you. So
yeah,
keep
yeah,
keep having fun with her and listen to your wife.
yeah.
And
Yo,
you'll be okay, Elliot. You're gonna be just fine.
it's true, man. I actually don't think I've ever said this on camera. I don't
Oh,
even know.
exclusive.
Yeah,
Hey.
I don't even know if my like mom knows this. I'll tell you the story that I do wanna ask you about the platform.
Okay.
So this is, yeah, no, I've never said this. I'm like fairly confident in any interview or like even regular conversations with my family. But
Mhm.
there was, man, there was one night, I think my wife and I had been together for, again, like a couple of months at this point. We went to a whiskey event and T Pain was performing at this event.
Okay.
It was lit. T Pain was lit. It was awesome.
Uh,
So we go to this event and we were in Brooklyn in like we were by the water, by like it's like I don't even remember exactly where in Brooklyn, but it was very industrial
oh,
and it was
probably Williamsburg.
by Williamsburg, and
Yeah.
it was like impossible to get an Uber because the let out was, and we left early because we were like, you know what, let's leave and try and get an Uber.
Mhm.
Trying to get an Uber, trying to get a cab, whatever. Took us a while. We ended up getting a cab. It was this older Spanish gentleman, and normally everybody wants to talk to me. Like, I mean, crackheads, you
You
know,
have that aura. That's what it
yeah,
is.
people just
Yeah.
like people would just come up to me and just like tell me their life story, and I'll just
Mhm.
why is this happening? I'm always receptive and like cool,
Mhm.
but I do really believe that like again, I believe that some of those interactions are angels, or some of the like I do think that like some of it is very spiritual. So
Yes.
in this moment, the Uber that came to get us, we'd been waiting for dumb long, and he was like, "Bruh," he was just at first he was just yip yapping. I was just like, "Bro, what are we talking about?" And then out of the blue, he just started talking about how he was like an apostle, right? And he was just like, yeah, like I'm drawn to talk to you guys about God and about like your relationship with God.
Mm.
And then like before we got out of the car, he was telling me, he was like, yo, always listen to what your wife is telling you because God is gonna talk to you through her. He's gonna
Ooh.
talk through her, and like he said a couple of other things, but like that was the thesis of it, right?
Yes.
And I remember we got out of the car and we went to her house right at the time. So we got out, I opened the door for her, I let her in. But in my mind, I was just like, what just happened? Right? Like who was
Who
this man?
was that?
What just happened? So I remember I went to open the door for her and I came back out because I was just like, yo, like let me just like look. I don't know what I was like, look at the license plate, look, I was just trying to shape and like wrap my mind around what had just happened. I might have been gone like 20 seconds, it wasn't even that long.
Yeah.
The car was gone. Like
Mm.
it wasn't at the corner, it what like the car was literally gone. And I do often go back to that
Yeah.
where because the way he said it, it's like like sometimes things happen or people say things and you're just like, bro, you are not from here, you know what
Mhm. I've
I mean?
had those experiences.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so like she'll say stuff now, and I say it out loud now as like a reminder too, because like I need to like really hold on to what he was telling me in that moment because it's true. Like there have been so many times where like we would have discussions about stuff,
Mhm.
and she would help steer what it was happening,
Mm.
and I would like sometimes I would go with this, sometimes I wouldn't.
Yeah.
The times I've gone with it, they've really panned out.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
times I haven't,
You learned the lesson.
been rocky.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I joke when I say I'm a little, but no, I am going to get back to that because that was like a real,
Yeah.
that was just such a like extraterrestrial spiritual experience.
Prophetic word. Yeah.
Very prophetic. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. You see, I mean, that's what I love about life is that, I pay attention to signs. It's like a game. You have to listen. You have to, ask for discernment. Ask and you'll receive, right? I was raised Catholic, then I went to Christian, but I lean more towards Buddhism.
Yeah.
Um, because it's a spiritual teaching. It's just basic human decency. Life teaches us many different things, and I play it as a game, and I learn from it. I learn from other people's stories. I learn from what they've been through. So I think once you're in tune with that, life just gets easier for you. You can coast through a little bit better,
Yeah,
and you are super blessed to have a wife that is even supporting you. She's also in tune as well if she's able to lead you in certain
yeah,
ways,
no, for sure.
That's
Yeah,
a blessing, man. That's a lot of people wish they had that. So
this is
hold on to
true.
that.
Yes, thank you,
Hold
thank
on to
you,
that. Don't ever let that family go. You are highly blessed, Elliot. For real.
thank you.
For real.
I'm inviting myself back.
We'll do a recap.
We'll do a recap. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But no, this has been fantastic.
I love that. Thank you so much, Elliot, for being on the show.
I
I
appreciate it.
appreciate it. Was a
Thank you.
great conversation.
Absolutely.